Fellow Singaporeans, it's time to face a harsh reality. Once again, Singapore finds itself entangled in a massive money laundering scandal, aptly named the mother of all scandals, with $1 billion at stake. The trail was marked by numerous red flags: individuals with multiple nationalities, the existence of dummy companies, and extravagant purchases like 20 condo units at once, not to mention the withdrawal of millions in cash. The big question is, how did the banks miss these glaring signs? The world is now scrutinizing the safeguards we've put in place. Regrettably, this isn't the first time such a situation has unfolded. Many banks were previously fined, with some facing multiple fines. But is it sufficient to impose fines only for them to swiftly return to business as usual? Our leaders repeatedly assert zero tolerance, but action must speak louder than words. Lee Kuan Yew is sorely missed today. If he were alive, heads would not only roll, but several financial institutions might have their licenses revoked. In this entire saga, the Singapore police force stands out as the one department that excelled. 400 dedicated police officers worked tirelessly to apprehend these individuals who flaunted their wealth across our tiny island. Their ostentatious lifestyles ultimately brought them down, but how many other money launderers operate covertly under the radar, only God knows. We won't reiterate the news, but instead we'll discuss the impact of money laundering on ordinary, struggling Singaporeans and small businesses trying to survive honestly in this world of illicit finances. Let's delve into the following repercussions caused by money launderers. Soaring property prices. Despite a 60% levy on foreign ownership, property prices have skyrocketed. Even a 1,000% levy wouldn't deter them, as it's dirty money at play. Today, an average Singaporean couple on a modest salary can barely afford a 3-room HDB flat thanks to money launderers. Compare property prices from 2020 to now, and you'll see the stark difference. We used to attribute these prices to market forces, but now they're undeniably driven by ill-gotten gains. The only beneficiaries are wealthy Singaporeans, eagerly waiting to join Forbes' list of the richest, while the average young Singaporean struggles to own a 2-room HDB flat. What the government will do about this remains uncertain. Escalating rentals. Rentals for apartments, shops, and even HDB houses have reached unprecedented levels as money launderers willingly pay exorbitant rents for condos and bungalows. One GCB made headlines when it was rented for a staggering $200,000 a month. Car COEs. Money launderers are purchasing luxury vehicles as casually as an average Singaporean buys coffee at a local cafe. Consequently, luxury car certificate of entitlement (COE) prices have reached historic highs in Singapore. Many average Singaporean salesmen and private hire drivers rely on cars for their livelihoods, and as a result, taxi and private hire vehicle fares have nearly doubled in the last 3 years. It's essential to emphasize that these fare increases are driven by dirty money. Higher bank charges. Small-medium enterprises with a turnover of $10–20 million a year are not entertained by most of the Singapore banks. Their reasoning is that the turnover does not justify their profits, hence they have to raise the charges to cover their profits. Less than $100 million turnover companies are given a hard time. Banks here want to show billion-dollar profits, and small SMEs are not worth wasting their time. When we complain, they say it is market-driven. Some banks charge monthly just to keep the account with them. The government has tried many methods and sponsored many loans for SMEs and startups, especially during the COVID-19 period, but these loans are through the same banks who do not even entertain you, and your loan application is rejected without any reason given. The MOF and MAS has to seriously look into this and come up with some serious measures to help the SMEs and sole proprietors who need an account to run their business. Increase in prices of food and essential items. These items are transported in goods van or lorries, and the COE today is so high the vendors have no choice but to increase the prices. This is the chain effect of money laundering in Singapore. We are hearing that estate agents are being queried, golf clubs are having meetings due to rise in Theo membership prices, but we never hear that the Association of Banks having meetings, etc., to rectify this and stop the money launderers. Banks are aware that at the most they have to pay a nominal fine and get on with their business until the next money laundering scandal. Even a person is having directorships and shareholding in 185 companies. This a serious red flag which ACRA should look into. ACRA says not illegal to have so many companies, but they should look into the companies and identify the dummy companies laundering monies. There is usually no smoke without fire, and there are rarely money launderers without a bank involved. Questions, questions, questions from my heart. Question number 1. Vanuatu, a country I had never heard of before this scandal, has a population of just 335,000 and a GDP of only $1 billion. How is it that one of its nationals could launder money in Singapore? This raises significant concerns, and we must question how such a situation went unnoticed. Question number 2. Singaporean banks typically raise red flags for transactions exceeding 20,000 Singapore dollars. However, these money launderers manage to handle millions in cash. How are they able to withdraw and deposit such massive sums without detection? Question number 3. Is there anything an ordinary Singaporean can do in response to this issue? It might seem like we're powerless, but that's not entirely true. We can play a role in guiding the authorities toward the right actions and ensure they have no choice but to take necessary measures. We've seen the government respond to similar incidents in the past, so we should expect accountability. I welcome your thoughts and comments, even if they differ from my own. Let's engage in a constructive dialogue on this matter.